Welcome, coaches, to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down a truly fascinating World Cup clash between Spain and Cape Verde. Now, if you looked at the matchups on paper or just considered the sheer dominance Spain usually exhibits on the global stage, pretty much everyone expected a heavily lopsided affair. But as we all know, football has a beautiful way of surprising us. We're going to dive into exactly how Cape Verde produced an incredibly disciplined, near-flawless defensive performance to earn a massive point in a hard-fought 0-0 draw. Trust me, this wasn't just luck. It was an absolute tactical masterclass. So here's the ultimate tactical question for any coach, right? When you're the underdog stepping onto the pitch in a classic David versus Goliath scenario, how do you actually stop a team that is literally famous for dominating the ball? Cape Verde faced exactly this challenge against Spain, a team that was completely determined to establish their trademark passing rhythm, circulate the ball endlessly, and just suffocate the opposition right from the opening whistle. You can see this stark contrast in their approaches right away. Spain's attack relied entirely on taking total control, moving the ball confidently across the midfield and patiently probing to stretch the opposition's defensive shape. They wanted to draw defenders out, create little gaps, and slide their wingers into those spaces. But Cape Verde, they absolutely refused to take the bait. They wouldn't be pulled apart. From the opening minutes, their defense relied on remaining incredibly compact and organized. Their absolute priority was leaving zero space behind their defensive line, effectively neutralizing the dangerous through balls that possession-heavy teams use to kill you. To help you break this down for your own squads, here is our game plan for today's explainer. We'll look at the tactical mismatch, mastering the low block, the transition threat, the goalkeeper as the defensive anchor, and finally, the psychology of resilience. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the tactical mismatch. Throughout the first half, it was just fascinating to watch this rhythm develop. As Spain pushed forward with patience, really trying to dictate the play, Cape Verde remained rigidly compact. Then, midway through the first half, Spain started actively increasing the tempo. Their passing became noticeably sharper, a lot more direct. And what did Cape Verde do? They diligently tracked every single run. When Spain tried delivering dangerous crosses into the penalty area, Cape Verde's defenders consistently cleared the ball under immense pressure. Now, for you coaches out there, you know that training a team to repeatedly clear the ball in their own box without panicking or committing a silly foul is incredibly hard. But Cape Verde, they executed it flawlessly. Moving right along to Section 2, mastering the low block. For you youth coaches watching, this is the textbook concept you really want to drill into your players. A disciplined low block isn't just about putting 11 bodies behind the ball and hoping for the best. It's about highly active, meticulous teamwork. As Spain sent wave after wave of attacks, Cape Verde survived because they maintained incredibly tight vertical and horizontal compactness. Their midfielders dropped deep, leaving barely 10 to 12 yards between the midfield and the defensive line. This meant those crucial half spaces were completely closed down, preventing Spain's playmakers from turning and creating. By flawlessly executing this, they completely eliminated the very space Spain desperately wanted to exploit. Okay, Section 3, the transitions way. Because playing defensively doesn't mean you just absorb pressure without an outlet, right? Early in the match, Cape Verde executed a transition moment brilliantly, turning defense into attack in the blink of an eye. They won the ball aggressively in the midfield, and instantly a tactical switch was flipped. They surged forward with incredible pace, turning a defensive action into a rapid counterattack, and nearly caught the Spanish defense completely disorganized and out of position. It was this thrilling vertical moment that disrupted Spain's entire rhythm. Now, sure, the move ultimately broke down inside the final third, and Cape Verde didn't get a goal out of it. But tactically, this moment was absolutely essential. It served as a massive warning to Spain. For coaches, this is exactly why a counterattacking threat is vital, even in a heavily defensive setup. It forces the opponent's fullbacks to stay honest and pins them back. If you have absolutely no transition threat, the opponent is eventually going to throw all 10 outfield players into your final third and just suffocate you. That one fast break ensured Spain kept numbers back to defend for the rest of the game. Let's shift gears to Section 4, the goalkeeper as defensive anchor. You literally cannot execute a deep defensive shape like this without a goalkeeper who confidently leads from the back. Cape Verde's goalkeeper was a massive factor in this draw, specifically through aggressive communication. A low block requires constant, loud verbal leadership. The goalkeeper serves as the eyes of the defense, shouting triggers, calling out blindside runners, organizing markers, and telling the backline exactly when to step up to play the offside trap. On top of that, every time the goalkeeper came out and confidently claimed a dangerous cross, it wasn't just a save. It was a loud, physical statement that instantly relieved pressure and gave the entire backline a crucial second to breathe. And that brings us to Section 5, the psychology of resilience. Let's trace the compounding pressure on this timeline, because maintaining this kind of shape is flat out exhausting. At the 60-minute mark, the intensity spiked dramatically as Spain introduced fresh, dangerous energy off the bench. By 70 minutes, Spain's urgency really grew. Their movement off the ball became far more aggressive. Passing combinations got quicker, and crosses were flashing across the goal mouth. And then at 90-plus minutes, stoppage time arrived. Peak pressure. This is where physical fatigue usually turns into cognitive fatigue. Legs feel incredibly heavy, the brain fogs, and concentration naturally slips. But incredibly, Cape Verde's mental focus remained razor sharp, fending off Spain's desperate surges for a late winner. Despite that immense, suffocating pressure, Cape Verde found answers. The reality on the pitch was crystal clear. Every loose ball was fiercely contested. Every single run was tracked. Every attack was aggressively challenged. The determination, the grit, and the unyielding commitment shown by every single Cape Verde player was absolutely phenomenal to witness. They fought tooth and nail for every second ball and just flat out refused to let their focus slip for even a fraction of a second. And what was the ultimate reward for that agonizing mental and physical commitment? 0-0. Surviving the incredible tension of stoppage time, where every single Spanish attack felt like it could shatter their dreams, to hold on and earn a massive, historic point on the world stage. Which brings us to our core takeaway from this explainer. Football constantly reminds us that possession alone does not guarantee victory. Spain controlled the ball and the tempo for much of the match, but sometimes defensive excellence, built on impenetrable character, tactical discipline, and outstanding communication, deserves just as much praise as attacking brilliance. So I want to leave you with this question to chew on. How will you implement these exact principles of defensive discipline and mental resilience in your very next training session? Take these lessons, the tight mechanics of the low block, the vital vocal communication of your goalkeeper, and that crucial transition threat straight to your training pitch. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep inspiring your players to embrace the beautiful art of defending.